Okay, today I'm going to show you guys how to create our first large scale, our first major project in this class. And basically what it is we're going to create cartoon faces of ourselves. And I'm going to walk you through how to do this one stage at a time. So this first stage is basically going to be creating the head, face area, the neck, and the shoulders. So here's how you do that. I want you to go to Create New in your Adobe Illustrator file or in your Adobe Illustrator program. Then we're just going to change it to letter size and change your project title to cartoon portrait, and then hit create. And when that happens here, you're going to see, and give it a moment. There we go. When that happens, we're going to get our basic white shape here. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take some of the things that we learned in those first few videos, and we're going to start compiling them together to create a cool piece of art. And this is going to be about a 3 or 4 part video series to complete this project. So the way you want to start is we want to go over to our rectangle tool and click and hold on it. We're going to click on the ellipse tool right here, the ellipse tool. And what you can do is just drag open a nice big old oval, roughly this size. I'm going to go ahead and take it and position it on my paper here. And so from here, this is going to be what will eventually become our face of our cartoon, but it's just the background, and we're going to work slowly up through this. So just go along with me here. What we want to do is we want to change the color of this because we want to make it match skin tones. So a cool thing that Illustrator does is if you go up to your fill color up here, you can see that there's a bunch of different colors here. Some of these kind of resemble skin tones, but another thing that you could do is if you click on these 3 little books, and you're going to always remember these 3 little books, this icon is in a lot of menus as we go through Illustrator. And basically what that means is there's going to be more stuff under there for you, more options for you. If you click on that, you'll notice that one of those options is this thing that says skin tones. So go ahead and click on skin tones. And obviously it's not a perfect science, but you know, maybe you don't find your skin tone. It's totally fine. You can pick whatever you want, but you can also do this. So like, I'll just pick a skin tone like this, and maybe something like that. And once you've got it selected, if you double click on this big fill here, you can adjust things in here and you can get it exactly how you like. So the way I did that is I selected a regular color, then I came down to the large fill here and I double clicked it to get some variations. So then we're going to do the same thing to our the stroke. Okay, the stroke again is the outline around the shape. Do the same thing to that, only this time what I want you to do, you can go to skin tones again. Only this time, I want you to pick a different skin tone, maybe one that's slightly lighter or darker. The reason for that, whoopsie, it didn't change that. Here's why that didn't work. Good, we have little mistakes every once in a while. Notice how the fill color is pulled forward right here. It's in front of the stroke color in this large area. If you just click on that stroke, it brings it forward, and now it's the editable thing. There you go. So by cycling between the fill and the stroke down here in the corner or below our toolbar, you can make one or the other editable. So there you go. So you can change the stroke or change the fill. Anyway, so now that we have our little egg shape here, or our face, you'll see I'll click away from it with my black arrow, and you can see that I've got basically an oval that's got a skin tone and then like a slightly darker skin tone for the outline. So what we're going to do next, if you click on this thing, see how it's selected. Go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's about 8 down on the left side. It's called the width tool. You can see where my mouse is here. If you click and hold on it, there's a little thing called the warp tool, which we played around with a little bit. And basically what the warp tool will allow you to do is like if you click and drag, you can like manipulate shapes. You see that? You can click and drag and you can kind of push stuff around. What we're going to do with this, you definitely don't have to do this. And if you want to, you're more than welcome to. But around the jawline of this shape, this character, you'll notice most of you guys have watched cartoons. There are different styles. Some people have, if you're really into anime, you can make more of a pointed nose, or chin, or you can just shape it however. But basically with this warp tool, what you want to do is you just click and just very subtly click and drag, and you can create kind of like a shape of a face. Like you want to keep it pretty symmetrical. In this case, you want to go less is more. You don't want to go too crazy on that. You could do like a butt chin like that if you want. Quagmire style, you don't have to do that, of course. You do whatever you want. You could even do like sort of like a brow line up here if you wanted to. Just using that warp tool to basically just push in and craft out the sides. We're going to click away from that. And then you'll see it's roughly a face. Okay, getting there. Next thing I'm going to do is I want to go to my rectangle tool. That's this one right here, the rectangle tool. And I want you to draw or to create a neck for your character. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to start in the middle of your face. I'm going to have you drag and create, open up a rectangle all the way down to the bottom of the paper like that. Looks like a little popsicle kind of. So from here, what we want to do is we want to take that object that we just made and we want to go to Object, Arrange, Send to Back, like that. Once we've done that, we've got our neck, and see how, because we changed the stroke of the face, it looks like we've got a head that's sitting out in front of the neck, which is what you want. So now I'm going to have you click on that neck piece, see how it's selected there, and I'm going to go back to that warp tool. From here, what I want you to do is I want you to put your cursor on the inside of the shape here. If you click and push outward, like drag out, straight out to the side, like this, and then kind of off the paper like that. So you click and you drag it off. It kind of feels like silly putty when you're doing this. You'll get that feeling. You just, or like Play-Doh, right? So you push it off to the side, you click away, and now what you have is a neck and shoulders, okay? So it's like a bust. Bust means basically from your chest up. It's a artistic. Okay. Now, it doesn't matter that we have this excess part coming off the bottom here. I can show you how to take care of that later. Or actually, I'll just do it right now. If you just click on that item, if you don't like that drippy skin hanging off the bottom, I don't blame you. Go to your eraser. You can hold your make your eraser a little bit larger by using the bracket keys on your keyboard. That's brackets, the right bracket over by the P on your keyboard. Hold Shift and click and drag. If you hold Shift and click and drag, it'll go in a straight line like this. You can just erase off what you don't want. Take that item, down arrow on your keyboard, and you can down just a little bit. So there we go. We've got ourselves a little faceless monster here. This is our first step, okay? So now we've got basically have the structure of this project. In the coming videos, we're gonna add facial features and hair and backgrounds and stuff like that. But today, before I'm done with this particular video, what I wanna do is I want to show you how to make clothing, okay? So the way to make clothing is this. I want you to click and drag over everything like so. Just click and drag over it all. We're gonna go to Object, Lock, Selection. So by doing that, it's locked in place. We don't ever have to deal with it anymore, or not for a while. Excuse me. And what we're gonna do is we're now gonna just give this thing some clothing. So I'm gonna show you a number of ways to do clothing. And here's the general idea. Okay, the general way you do this is you are going to take a rectangle, any kind, and you're going to create a relatively large rectangle over the top of your character like this, okay? We'll change color, and I would recommend taking off the stroke, so no stroke. So if you click on your stroke color, go to the very first option, go to none. We'll just give it a random color for now. I'll go red because we're in the NFL season. Go Chiefs. Okay, so from here, what you're going to do is you're basically just going to erase out what you don't want. So it's all just an illusion. You know, this isn't an actual cartoon character. This isn't a real thing that's actually wearing clothes. We're just stacking shapes on top of each other to make it look like there's clothing. So the way to do that is if you take your eraser, see my cursor, you can adjust the cursor size again using the bracket keys. All you have to do is just kind of like make a little neck hole like that. I just erased out the neck hole. And then on the shoulders, you just kind of erase out like a little edge like that. Like so, right? So I just erased out some shoulders. It doesn't even really matter what we created down at the bottom, except I'll show you some reasons why you might care about that later. But you just want to, when you erase it out, you don't want to go too far like that, or you're going to see part of your skin down there, right? So you just hit Control-Z if you go too far. No big deal, but it's like that. So I've got a little character, and it doesn't even have to be symmetrical, because right there, if you do it like that, it almost just looks like they're kind of in like a weird pose or whatever. Like he's got one arm a little further ahead of the other. You can just kind of play with it like that. And look, you got a t-shirt. Well, there's a ton of different things we can do with clothing, not just a t-shirt like this. What I want you to do is I'm gonna be, when I do grade this, if you are taking my class right now and you're not just watching this on YouTube, when I grade this, I'm gonna look for more like interesting versions of clothing, not just that you did this basic like this. I want to see you actually try something cool. Clean that up a little bit. Yeah, I'm just kind of playing around with the eraser and just trying to get it right. You can even come back in with your warp tool that we were playing with earlier, and you can kind of push stuff around, you know, that. Get it kind of how you want it. Okay. So if you're just going to do a t-shirt, what I want you to do is this. You can go to your paintbrush, this tool right here. With your paintbrush, and you can just change, with the paintbrush, all you want to do is change the stroke color. Okay, so let's just go yellow. When you paint with a paintbrush, it only matters what the yellow is. So what we're going to do with this is, like, let's say I wanted to make it look like a tracksuit or something. I could just draw some, some lines like Adidas style on there. I don't know. I got Chiefs on my mind, as you can tell. Maybe we just want to do something like this. I'm going it's a little sloppy right now, but that's okay. I just want to show you some style, right? With that paintbrush, you can add all kinds of stuff on there. There's my little Adidas logo, right? I'm going real quick so you can get the idea. There's one way to do it. I'm going to move that off to the side here, and I'll show you how to do other things as well. Let's say you want to do like a tank top or something. So go back on there. If you want to do like a tank top or something, it's still the same exact idea. Same exact idea. What you do is you take your rectangle tool, you make your big box over top, and then you just erase out what you don't want. In this case, if it's going to be like a tank top, maybe we just take out a big chunk like that. Come over like this, erase out something like that. Boom. You see that? So you can, again, you're just putting in some shapes, and then you're creating like an illusion. You can actually move these pieces. Right, if you're going to do something along these lines, that's going to leave you with, or if you wanted to do like a dress or whatever, or like straps on your dress, various necklines, you can totally do whatever you want. If you can do something like this, it might be cool to do like, come in here and draw in like, muscles or something on your character. So like if we go change the color of the brush again, you can use those bracket keys to change the size of your brush as well. Maybe, I don't know, draw in some like big muscles or something, depending on, maybe this guy plays for the Lakers or something, You could also do something like play around with tattoos. Maybe you want to give yourself like a cool neck tattoo, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't really matter. Or a cool arm tattoo. Or you can click on the actual pieces of the fabric here and perhaps your character that you're creating, and you can create anything you want, by the way. Perhaps you want to give it like like I said earlier, maybe they play for the Lakers and you want to add some like whatever their jersey looks like, I'm not going into great detail. I'm just showing you how to do this. And what I'm going to be grading on when I do grade is the detail that you put in. All right. So I don't want you to rush through this. I want you to actually make something that looks really cool. So here, I'll move that off to the side as well. I'll show you one more, and then we'll call this an end on this video. And we'll pick up on the next video where I show you how to do facial features. Another thing you can do, and I've had people do anything, you can do anything. You can make Iron Man suits. You can make a tuxedo, make your character an astronaut. I mean, you can do literally anything you want as long as you put in some work. One thing that people like to do a lot is the following. All right, let's say you want to make a hoodie. Okay, a hoodie's always kind of fun. Everything starts the same way with your neck, with the clothing on top of the body. So you take your eraser, we'll erase out the neck, we'll add on our shoulders like this. Whoops, don't go too far. Just add on your shoulders like that. Okay, great. So there we go. We've got our the base of our hoodie. Okay, so this one's going to be cool because with a hoodie, think about it. I'm actually wearing one right now. The hood part, see this? It actually is sitting on the back of your shoulders, not like back behind your head, and it's not like way up. It's just kind of sitting on the back of your shoulders. So if we want to do that with this particular character, what you do is you go to your ellipse tool, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create some fabric right here, the illusion of fabric. I'm going to make a circle like that, boom. And then from here, what we want to do is we want to put that circle that I just made, and we want to move it to the back of our work, right? So you might remember that from the first videos that we did. We go to Object, Arrange, Send to Back. When you do that, check this out. It's going to immediately look like a hoodie. So when I click away from it, it's got kind of a hoodie vibe, but we can make it even more so hoodie-ish. The way you do that is this. If you select this item, you can come in with your warp tool, and you can like kind of move it around a little bit, maybe give it a little indentation like that, make it look a little bit more like fabric bunched up. You can do the same thing down here to this. You could take this, take this shirt, the front of the shirt here, and the neck hole, you can like kind of push up, bunch up a little bit, because when you've got a hoodie on, usually it's like kind of tight around your neck. Then when you click away from it, it's going to look like that person's got an actual hood on. Pretty cool. From here, what you can do is with that paintbrush, if you want to take your paintbrush, you can pick like the same color, like a purple or maybe like a darker purple. And with that paintbrush, you can come in and start adding in like some detail to make it really stand out, like a hood. You know what I'm talking about? You can like do something. Maybe there's some wrinkles or whatever in the hood. You can then, you can change the color depending on whatever, I don't know what kind of color your hood is. And you can make like some drawstrings, just depending on what you're trying to wear. Even go back in and do your whatever, any kind of detail you want to create. Generally, the idea here, and if you're not achieving this illusion here of the two shapes that make it look like a hoodie, one thing that you might have going on. So if you take a look at this, if you have a stroke on your shape, it might look like something like that. That's not what you want. You want to remove the stroke from your shape so that what will happen is these two shapes will kind of blend together visually. So like when you zoom back, you can see that it does that. Okay. So there's one last thing that I wanted to show you, and that's this. It's not just basic colors, very similar to when we did our skin tones. If you were to select both of these items, like I've got both of them selected, you can hold shift to select multiple items at once. I have the hoodie, let's say, selected, the purple pieces. I go up to this fill color and I go to those books. You might remember I was talking about that earlier. That gives you more options. There are a lot of really fun options in here. Like if you were to go down to patterns, go to like nature, for instance, and I don't know, animal skin. You can click some of these cool animal skins. Like maybe you got a zebra skin hoodie on, I don't know, peacock. There's all kinds of fun. The point of this is that there's a lot of fun options in here for your design. I think I'll stick with a basic color. And I'll stick with the original purple because I like those defined lines. And then there you go. That is a really cool, a basic way of what this is the beginning of our character. Basically, I want you all at this point, if you're getting caught up or if you're just starting with me, I want you to just create your character, your face and your neck, lock it in the background, and then try to create some form of clothing on the front of your character. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these other ones that I don't want. I'm going to keep that hoodie, and that's it for the first video in this series. Okay, so the next video, you'll see I'm going to do the eyes, and then after that, I'll do nose and mouth and ears, and then I'll show you how to do hair and background. All right. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this is really helpful for you, and you're enjoying this first project because I think it is really fun. All right, guys. See you around.